Welcome back to Key Talk Media. This your host, Key Talk. Check it out, man. All right. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Notification Gang, Key Talk Gang for rocking with me every single video. If you listen to my voice right now, go ahead and hit a notification bell so you get notification every single time I drop a video. Anyways, hey, before we get the video started, I gotta tell y'all something. Listen, the videos are doing great as far as view-wise, but as far as getting the likes up, I don't know what in the blue hell y'all be having going on. We be like at 12,000, 13,000 views with like 300 likes or two. Come on, y'all. We got to do better than that as a team. If you're watching the video, literally takes a couple of seconds, not even a couple of seconds, like half a millisecond to hit the like button and then watch the video. So if y'all can do that for me, that would be great. Make sure y'all hit that like button. It actually helps the video spread and go further as well, right? Anyway, so the first line of business today, we got to talk about Yak Gotti. We will talk about Diddy as well. Actually, we got some play-by-play details about Diddy. That boy Diddy, the Diddy man might be actually about to get some bond on you boys. You know what I'm talking about? And I'll explain to y'all why I say that. But first, we got to talk about Yak Gotti because there is tad bits of interrogation footage actually dropping of Yak Gotti. And I don't know, man. Some people are saying Yak Gotti and that thing snitching and telling. Now, a couple of days ago, Yak Gotti did actually come out and say that he will be coming home by Christmas and maybe even by Thanksgiving. He says, locked in the system. I'm just thankful to be living. See y'all by Christmas. God willing, Thanksgiving. 3 charges dropped, plus unlimited support. Best birthday wishes. Now, somebody in the comment section, Shorty Mac said, did he snitch or nah? Now, some people are responding like, nah, that's Thug's brother. He ain't snitch. Is good. However, some interrogation footage of Yak Gotti has actually dropped. Now, Yak Gotti, he ain't got them long things in his head no more like he did. Now he got the little short haircut, right? And of course, a lot of people is waiting on Yak Gotti to come home because he got a lot of respect inside of the streets. However, now this interrogation footage has actually dropped, and it does have a lot of people scratching their head, right? Some people saying that he's in there snitching. Some people said he just spinning them through loops. But I'm gonna play the footage, and I'm gonna actually let y'all tell me if y'all think this is any type of telling, snitching, ratting. But it's just one clip. I heard there's like a 2-hour clip of him in there talking, right? This is just a minute and something. So within this minute and something, y'all let me know in the comment section if y'all hear any type of anything that's against the streets. Y'all know what's against the streets, what you ain't supposed to do, what you can't do, and all that stuff like that. And then of course we'll check out the comment section, see new comments that y'all got. But here goes a minute and 19 seconds of the Yak Gotti interrogation footage. And like I say, there is a lot more to come.
Well, it's like, I ain't the point. I ain't the type to throw shot on another nigga, and I ain't like, why keep him away from you? And then, like, I'm trying to get in. You feel me?
Right.
I ain't
Just don't want him around you.
Yeah, I follow that. You feel me? That's what it takes. So, and that's what I did.
So, how was Doug feeling about it?
Other than what?
Just because the way you putting it, it's almost like he was the pot stirrer. He the one that kept the BS up. Yeah.
But it's like,
Nobody
ain't really
You're watching Key Talk Media.
Like, nobody ain't see, like, I don't know. Well, I ain't gonna say nobody. I'm gonna say I didn't see it.
after this.
I seen it.
Alright, so
One thing I can say, buddy, and they're tearing up them chicken wings. I was about to say them some chicken nuggets, but them for sure chicken wings, because buddy got it holding in his hand like this, and he that boy, that over there, he turning chicken wings up, boy.
the night at Crucial when he got jumped on, where he get all the money from to get on stage?
I don't know what he used to do with money.
I'm just saying, he ain't
And honestly, anytime an artist or anybody's inside the interrogation room and you see them with food, it's always a bad look, right? Because the whole joke is like, with Italian beef and Pepsi, they gonna give you some food, you're gonna talk, whatever it may be. So anytime you get food inside the interrogation room, it's always a bad look, even if you're in there finessing or whatever, right? Like I say, some people say finessing, some people say here and there definitely telling. So, but only time's gonna tell as we see more footage.
Woody ain't, he had about $25,000. Woody ain't rolling like that.
Woody ain't rolling like that.
No, stop. You think so?
His brother was.
Who? Rontez? Or what's his brother name? Rontez or something?
Nah, they got a brother named Kim.
Uh-huh.
It ain't real brother. His sister boyfriend, Kendall.
And if anything, if y'all want to know the truth, if people say this is snitching, he's actually in there snitching on Lil Woody, right? If you heard him say, cause the 12 of them asked him, hey, how did Woody get that $25,000 he pulled up, I guess, on the stage with y'all or something like that? And yeah, guy was like, I don't know. He was like, the police was like, cause Woody ain't rolling like that with that much money. And then he laughed. Yeah, got it laughed and was like, yeah, Woody ain't rolling like that, but his brother is. And then 12 was like, wait, which brother? This brother right here? Then yeah, guy was like, nah, his brother named Kenneth or something like that. His sister boyfriend, all that type of stuff, right? So hey, listen, man, I don't know. Maybe it's saying somebody's name inside the interrogation room or giving up somebody's name that wasn't brought up. Is that considered snitching? But like I say, this really is just one. This one clip, and not only is this one clip. I believe Yak Gotti's comment section. Let me go double check because somebody in the comment section said he cut his comments off. I'll go check that in a second. Let's get to the comment section, right? So the first comment, of course, is a whole lot of laughing emojis. Bro trying to sneak he getting out without telling us what he did. And then, of course, it says that nigga getting out because his attorney a bad motherfucker. Yeah, he probably didn't say nothing for real, just playing on him. That boy turned the comments off. Yeah, so this guy said he turned the comments off. But he didn't even really say nothing. Cook, did he snitch though? That's not him. And somebody said, definitely him. So, with that being said, we'll just have to. Then somebody say, looks like Lucci had the real niggas in his clique. Get out them streets, kids. So, like I say, some people do believe it's still snitching. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Buddy comment section, see if he actually cut the comments off, because that is what a lot of people have said. Well, I saw one person say he cut the comments off inside of his comment section. And I am on his Instagram page. And it doesn't, the comments have been limited. So here's where he pretty much said that he was coming home. Charleston White actually said, I told you the faith of a mustard seed. So Charleston White co-signed that. But then, of course, it does say the comments are limited. So people, you can't really comment on it. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if the comments just got limited or if these comments been limited. You know what I'm talking about? So I can't just say he limited the comments after that footage came out or this footage has been released because I don't know that. And I'm not the person who's going to get over here and just say some stuff that I don't really know or there's no actual proof that I'm looking at right now just for the sake of content. You know what I'm talking about? So, with that being said, of course, like I say, there will be more footage of Yak Gotti actually coming out. And as the more footage come out, I'm definitely going to keep y'all updated on that so y'all be able to see exactly what in the blue hell is going on inside of these hip hop streets. Now, we're going to take it over here to Diddy Man. Now, Diddy Man had court today, right? So there was an Abercrombie and Fitch like CEO that actually got arrested for a lot of the same stuff that Diddy got arrested for right now. That Abercrombie and Fitch CEO actually got a $10 million bail. Diddy's team is saying, hey, listen, we're offering 5 times that $10 million that this other guy got out on bail on. Why in the blue hell would you not release us? And which the defense, the prosecutors is coming out and they're saying why Diddy should not be released. Right now, I've got play-by-play details of the actual court case, and I'm going to read it to y'all of the trial today, like word for word, who said this, when they said this, and we're going to read through this and we can get a better idea on if Diddy's going to get out or not. Now, the judge did end up saying he's going to make a ruling on this in like a week or so, right? Or maybe even before then to see if Diddy gets trial or not. So it started out and it says, okay, now Sean Combs' argument for bail, will the third time be the charm after MDC jail sweep and photo Inner City Press is covering the case, right? So it started out like this. Let me make this a little smaller. Right? Actually, I want to make this full screen where y'all can actually see it all. So it started like this. It says, in the courtroom, Combs' attorney, Tony Rico, has come back into the gallery to speak with Diddy's supporters. Alexandria Shapira sitting reading from a binder. 4 prosecutors in the front row, drum roll. So this is how it all starts out. Let's lay in the scene. So it says, Sean Combs is brought in wearing an MDC jail tan uniform. He makes a point of hugging his lawyer, Agnifilio, then sits chatting with Rico. So I guess that's his lawyer and that's his lawyer, Rico, right? It says, while waiting for the judge, Iron Subramanian, noting that Combs his lawyers are sitting at the middle of the tables, so the 2 U.S. Marshals, rather than directly behind the defendant as is usually the case, are on the sides. All rise. So now it actually starts, right? So the judge comes in. He's like, All rise. Combs lawyer Rico, the family of Mr. Sean Love Combs are here. So this is what Combs lawyer is saying, right? The family of Mr. Sean Love Combs are here. They traveled a long way. The judge says, thank you for being here, Mr. Agnifilio. Tell me about the legal pads. Combs lawyer says, the first time I saw them was Tuesday. As we sit here today, I'm not sure when the legal was written on each of them. I'm trying to get to the bottom of that. Different members of the defense team was telling him to write legal on the pads. There's a photo of pad without legal on it. So this is pretty much going into the fact that the feds raided Diddy's they raided his cell, and they pretty much took all of his documents, even legal documents that the judge has told them that actually they got to throw and they can't use, right? So Combs' lawyer, Diddy's lawyer, comes out and says, so it's clear that on November 1st, the sweep, they did not all say legal. The judge says, the pad you handed to me did say legal on it on November 1st. The Diddy lawyer said, I'm not sure, which the judge said, moving forward, make sure representation are true. So the judge comes out and he says, Miss Slavic, what's the status of Mr. Combs' laptop? It says AUSA Christine Slavic. So anytime y'all hear AUSA, them the ops for Diddy. Them are Diddy ops, right? Them the people that's trying to send that boy up under that jail for the rest of his life and possibly the death penalty, right? So it says AUSA Christine Slavic, she responded and says, the laptop for him to review the discovery at the MDC. The idea is to preload the information he is allowed to have at the MDC on the laptop. There's a protective order. The judge says, on the bail application, I don't have to deal with the Bostini case. The defense is saying there are extensive conditions proposed, including 24/7 security. What about the Fox case? AUSA says, there was a RICO charge in that case. The judge says agreed, right? So the judge then double back and says, but I want you to address the proposed conditions. AUS responded to the judge and says, there has to be some level of trust that the defendant will follow him. Here, he will not. He cannot be trusted. Consider his conduct in custody after the two judges' findings. So pretty much this is what they're trying to say, right? The AUSA, which of course is the other side that's trying to lock Diddy up for life forever, is trying to convince the judge that Diddy cannot be trusted. They're pretty much saying that Diddy is the type of person, not only that you can't trust, he is a madman. He is just the worst of the worst that you can actually think of, and letting him out of jail would be the worst thing that you could possibly do, right? Now it continues, so AUSA says, if he can't comply in a custodial setting, he will not comply if released. What type of security firm? They suggested a co-conspirator, one whose phone was taken only the day before. The 2-day suggestion was a defensive investigator in his case. The AUSA continues and says, that investigator has been out contacting witnesses. Essentially, they work for him. This would be the defendant buying his way out. The judge replied and said, you've conceded that Bostini bar does not apply here. You've cited his wealth to release him, so can't he use it? The AUSA says, we're not seeking his continued detention based on his wealth, but rather danger, risk of flight, and obstruction. So now the defense is the prosecutors are pretty much saying, listen, we're not trying to keep Diddy locked up because he's this rich man and he got all this money. He's just a danger to the community. And while he was inside of in jail, y'all know news came out that while in jail, Diddy was like being some super balls, calling plays and shots outside of jail. That's pretty much what this person is actually saying, right? The AUSA is saying he's just too dangerous of a person to actually be able to do that sort of stuff, right? Which is absolutely insane, right? Not insane like in a good or bad way, just insane that's the defense that they're actually using. However, it continues and it says, the judge came out and said, is obstruction your main argument? AUSA says, danger to others. The judge says, so, not risk or flight? So the judge is wondering, like, okay, you just said he's dangerous, but he's not a flight risk, right? The flight risk is the main thing that will be able to keep Diddy inside of jail. The AUSA says, we still rely on that too. The judge responded, tell me about obstruction. The AUSA continued and says, his continued violation of rules. The judge responded, if running a PR campaign obstruction, the AUSA says that's not what we have here. Rather, it's is his concerned effort to impact the integrity of these proceedings. The AUSA says, he says, I want to reach the jurors. I need only one. The judge responded, he's not permitted to engage in any conduct to impact the jury pool. The AUSA responded, his intent is obstructive conduct. He's violated the so-called gag order. He's the one who asked for that order. ASUA continues and says, the court entered the order on October 25th. He started his campaign on October 27th. He couldn't even comply for 2 days. And then the judge says, what about Jeffrey Abercrombie? So remember earlier, I told y'all there was an Abercrombie case where the CEO of the Abercrombie was actually just arrested on some type of like charges. And then of course, of trafficking, all type of stuff that even with Diddy's arrested of, right? So the judge, okay, well, we let this guy out. So why wouldn't we let Diddy out? We need a good, give me some good reasoning here on why we should not release Diddy. And this guy was actually released just to keep it fair, because in the federal world, they like to try to keep everything fair, no matter color, race, or nothing like that at all, right? So, the judge was like, what about the Jeffries Abercrombie case, where the government agreed to release on $10 million bond? The AUSA said, we did better. Now, he said we did a letter. So here's the letter that they wrote to, let me see if I can make this a little bigger though. This is the letter that they actually wrote, right? So I'm gonna read the letter to y'all. So Diddy, the people that's trying to lock Diddy away forever, the AUSA wrote this letter to pretty much break down why Diddy's case is different than the Abercrombie case and why Diddy should not be let go, right? So it says, dear Judge, I'm gonna say Judge S, because I don't know how to say that name, Subramanian, that's how you say it. Dear Judge S, the government respectfully submits this letter in advance of the hearing scheduled for November 22nd, 2024, in connection with the defendant's renewed motion for bail and in response to the court's inquiry about relevance of the bail package order with the government's consent as to defendant Michael Jeffries in the United States versus Jeffries, right? For the reasons stated below, the circumstances in Jeffries are in opposite and provide no support for the defendant's bail application in the instant matter. So I'm gonna break this down to y'all what that actually means, because I know it probably sounds like I'm reading gibberish because it's legal talk. They're pretty much saying, hey, this is a letter that we're gonna write to you to break down why Jeffrey's case is the exact opposite of Diddy's case, and that should be no legal standing for you to actually release Diddy for excuse me, for what Diddy has allegedly done, right? So let me get back to reading it. It continues and it says, on October 17, 2024, a grand jury sitting in the Eastern District of New York returned an indictment charging 3 defendants, including Michael Jeffries, with 1 count of sex trafficking in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1591 and 15 counts of interstate prostitution in violation of 18 U.S.C., right? As alleged from approximately 2008 to 2015, Jeffries and his co-defendants operated an international trafficking and prostitution business. Jeffries allegedly paid for dozens of men to travel with the United States and internationally to meet Jeffries and his co-defendants to engage in commercial acts. That literally sounds just like what they're saying Diddy did. In addition, Jeffries and his co-defendants relied on a security company to surveil and intimidate witnesses who threatened to expose their misconduct. Following his arrest, the government consented to Jeffries' release on strict bail conditions, including a secured $10 million bond and home detention with the electronic monitoring. The defense argues in its renewed bail motion that Combs is similarly situated to Jeffries and should similarly be released. But beyond superficial similarities, the high-profile position of the defendant and trafficking charges, the cases are materially different as to multiple factors the court must consider under the Bail Reform Act. First, the nature of the circumstances of the offenses are subsequently differently. While the Jeffries case, which spans from 2018 to 2015, alleges the use of force, fraud, and coercion to engage men in non-consensual acts, there are no allegations that Jeffries committed non-trafficking related violation acts or that he used firearms during the charge period. The indictment against Combs alleges both. With respect to the charge offense, Jeffries does not include a racketeering offense. By contrast, Combs is charged with heading a racketeering enterprise that engaged in, and I don't know if it actually continues, but give me just a sec here. Let me try to double check on that. But basically what they're saying is that, hey, listen, man, this is what that guy's got, but also this is what Diddy's got, and they're different. I'm gonna be real to y'all. To me, it sounds like some BS. It literally sounds like they're the same. But let's just continue reading, right? So, boom. Back to the conversation they had. The AUSA, who of course wants to put Diddy under the ground, says, I think the better comparison is the two prior denials of bail here. The judge says, what about his claim the government spliced the video? So y'all may recall Diddy's lawyer came out and said that the prosecution or the feds actually spliced part of the video to make it look a certain way, in which you'd probably be like, nah, no way they did nothing like that. But it actually comes out that they actually did splice the video, at least according to the AUSA. I'm gonna read it to y'all. So the judge said, what about the spliced video? The AUSA says he apologized. That's the point. The judge says, why did you use the spliced video, not the original? The AUSA says it was public. They also continue to says the cell phone footage was grand jury material, and we didn't want the defendant to be able to retaliate against the grand jury witnesses. We did add blurring of the victim's face. In 2016, the defendant bribed hotel security $100,000 to make it go away. It continues and it says, does it matter if he threw a vase or the contents of the vase? He admitted to it and apologized for it. This took place in the middle of a freak-off. The U.S. has evidence a male commercial S worker was in the hotel room at that time. So, hey, listen, so they're just saying that they covered somebody's face, and also maybe it wasn't a vase, and maybe it was something inside the vase. But either way it goes, they, like I said, they've got to continue proving why Diddy shouldn't get out. The AUSA continues and he says, this is devastating evidence for the trial. It shows why he cannot be released on bail. He is violent and is committed to covering up his crimes. The evidence against him continues to mount. We learned of punching and kicking employees' partners. The judge says, Mr. Agnifilio, so that's actually Diddy's lawyer. So now the judge is asking Diddy's lawyer, like, you know, what's going on? And Diddy's lawyer says, I'm going to have Miss Shapiro lead us off. So Miss Shapiro, which of course I believe that's Diddy's other lawyer, came in and she said he was not dragging her back to the freak off. The judge says there was dragging. Shapiro responded, I don't mean to. And the judge says there was kicking. And Shapiro says he has apologized. Now y'all may remember that video Diddy did when he came out and actually did apologize for what was happening. Said he was in a dark time of his life and all type of stuff like that, right? Now, the judge came out and said, what about the 2018 text messages with victim one about violence? Combs' lawyer says, we have gathered more information about victim one, even yesterday. I don't want to quote it because it's under seal and should be. It was consensual. The judge responded and says, I don't want to quote from them, but you know the ones I mean. And then which Diddy lawyer responded and says, we are proposing an independent security firm. There was being mutually agreeable physical conduct going both ways. There was violence by this other person and by Mr. Combs allegedly. It says in the Lafonte case from 2000, the defendant told someone to lie by phone from the MCC. In the Gotti case in 1996, the head of the Gambino crime family, the witness received a kick in the ass. The government does not have that there. Combs' lawyer continued and he says, we cited the Trump case. Defendant have greater rights to speak than their lawyers, and Instagram posts as well as I don't know if I can, which the judge responded and said his communication from MDC. Shapiro says, Shapiro, of course, that's Diddy's other lawyer. He says the prosecution is motivated by racism. Diddy's lawyer continues and he says, this is covered by the First Amendment. Messages they point to are not instructions to lie. There is a barrage of negative media coverage. He has a right to respond to that. The judge replied and says, why not through counsel? Shapiro, which of course Diddy's lawyer, said, we're happy to do that, but we're lawyers. It's not really what we do. Some of these recordings show that he's telling people, just tell the truth. Talk with my lawyer. The judge responded and says, victim 3, you're saying that communications are fine? Shapiro says, yes, same with witness 1 and 2. The judge then responded and says, what about communications that are missing? missing. In which Diddy lawyer responded, one reached out to Mr. Combs' counsel and asked us for lawyer. We didn't do anything along those lines because it was an odd request. I don't know the factual answer. The judge says, how do you know how? The judge says, how did you not know? Combs' lawyer said, there was a message from Mr. Combs to witness one. I would like to give it to you under seal. AUSA Foster may know. It does not give rise to the level of obstruction. I do not have the actual message. In which Combs' lawyer continued and says, my client obeys me. For example, on victim 3, he stopped using ASAP and other phone lines. The messages with witness 1 were pre-arrest. He obeys us. He came to New York in the BOP. When I tell him not to send something, he does it. So now Diddy's lawyers is just trying to paint the picture and show that, hey man, listen, Diddy listens to us. Forget about what these people are saying that Diddy doesn't listen. When it comes to us and we tell him something, Diddy actually listens to us, which can show that, give the image to the judge that they got Diddy under control and that what they say goes, which could, get him released pretty much, trying to show that he's not just a man that's doing everything that he wants to do on his own, and he can take some order and be under some sort of control, right? So it continues and it says, Combs' lawyer says, I submit that the charges in the Jeffries Abercrombie case are worse than here. The alleged and international trafficking business, they were raped and forced to engage in X. EDNY says at docket 9. And his lawyer continues and says, while in Jeffrey's case, one defendant is 80 and the other 71, Mr. Combs is 55. I hate to say it, that's not that young. The judge says, the use suggests he won't follow conditions, in which Diddy's lawyer responded, these conditions are more restrictive than in the prison. The judge, Mr. Agnifilo, where in the home he'd be in? And Diddy's lawyer said, I don't want to give the address. It's on Star Island. There's a causeway. There's a dock, but there would be no boat, in which the judge said, that's not going to work. We're in New York. So the judge said, hey, listen, now he ain't going to no Star Island. If Diddy going to be anywhere, Diddy going to be somewhere inside of New York, which at this case, at this time, Buddy will buy a home somewhere that he could get out of jail and be away from, back home and be able to see his family and stuff, right? In which he continued and says, let me see, New York, give me a moment. So Diddy's lawyer said, give me a moment, after the judge said, that's not, where living in Star Island is not going to work. We're in New York. Then Diddy's lawyer came out and said, there's an apartment on the Upper East Side. We have one available, 3 bedrooms. The judge says, where are the 24/7 security going to be? Which Diddy's lawyer said, would you like to speak to him or me? It's Patriot Security. They merged with Crisis 24. There'd be 2 security guards in the apartment and 1 downstairs, so a total of 3. No access to phones or the internet except for calls with counsel arranged by security personnel. This is more restrictive than in an MDC. Mr. Combs would avoid all contact with anyone who may be a witness. I think he has a right to do that, but I want to make it easy for the court as possible. We're going to investigate thoroughly before the May 5th trial. He has a right to assist. The judge responded and says, the government is saying Mr. Combs will be paying those people. It comes down to trust, in which Combs' lawyer says it's a different relationship. These are professionals that are only going to be in his life for 8 months. It's a high profile case. He's been in jail 66 days without a laptop. He only got one a few hours ago. What is unique here is to have waited 9 weeks to get a laptop into the MDC. The judge responded, the solution is for you to come to me. We can call these hearings, which get things done. Which Diddy lawyer responded, I have a whole presentation ready about the tape, but if you've got enough, I can save everyone 15 minutes. In which the judge responded, I have reviewed it. Who is here from pretrial services? Pretrial services came and they said, we maintain conditions is insufficient. In which the judge responded, have there been other cases with private guards? Pretrial says, not that I'm aware of. There was in the UN corruption case of NG Lapsing. He got messages with door closed while confined in DAG. All right, whatever the heck that means. There's another case where they had security pretty much. So the AUSA, which is the people that's against Diddy, they came in and said, consider witness 1 a participant in multiple freak-offs. Defendant continued to contact witness 1 after counsel was retained. The Instagram post was planned for a week using contact me ASAP and other inmate codes. His family member said the lawyers say not to do it, and the defendant responded, I don't care, it's my birthday. In which the judge responded, Ms. Shapiro said sharing code is common and the conduct was covered by the the First Amendment, in which AUSA responded, BOP handbook prohibits this. Defendant has used at least 8 inmate codes. He's bought them. The judge responded, they say Contact Me ASAP operates through TrueLinks, Trust Fund Limited inmate computer system, in which AUSA responded, is not permitted. In a Jeffries, one is detained, a foreign, and then, of course, the judge says a foreign national, right? So the judge continues and he says, I suggest both parties put in letters by Monday at noon about what type of communication Mr. Combs may be engaged in. Monday at noon, I see people from the 2D row. So listen, this is what it sounded like. To me, it's really sounding like Diddy's about to mess around and get freed. So the judge is literally saying, hey, listen, man, I'm going to give Buddy his freedom, what he wants. But I need y'all to come together and y'all tell me what y'all think Diddy should be able to use to communicate and what he shouldn't be able to use to communicate. But it's really sounding like I would say like, I really want to say over 50% chance that he's going to end up getting some type of bond just based off reading this and what it sounds like. I'll read a few more because there's only like 3 more to go. So it says, the judge says, I suggest, okay, cool, read that. Diddy's lawyer says his adult children are willing to obey. He's not a lawless person. We spent hours at the MDC. Mr. Combs was writing down what I said. He's not out of control. DOJ is responsible for the MDC. Those call from me all the time and I hang up. He has access to cell phones in the MDC, but not under our conditions. He fights, he kicks, he makes phone calls. This can be addressed. Thank you. The judge says we're going to get a decision out prompt next week. So next week is where Diddy man we'll know details next week as far if Diddy will actually be released or not. As you can see by what I just read, this was not only Diddy's lawyer, the guy that had the Agnifilio, however you say that name, and Shapiro, both for Diddy. You had the AUSA, which of course are the people that's against Diddy. You also had the judge that was actually speaking as well, and pretty much just breaking down on why Diddy shouldn't be released and why he should be released. And it's looking like the judge is leaning more towards letting Diddy actually out. But we'll know more about it whenever that time actually arrives, which of course is next week. But anyways, y'all seen the Yak Gotti footage. There's more footage coming, and I will do a video on that as well. But how do y'all feel about that footage with Yak Gotti? Also, how do y'all feel about Diddy, man? Do y'all think it's a good thing to let Diddy out? You know, talking about what they say, innocent to proven guilty, right? In the court of public opinion, of course, Diddy's been found guilty by like the most of the world. However, Meek Mill did double back, and after saying no Diddy, now he came out and said he's in support of Diddy and hope Diddy did not do these things that people are saying he did. Anyways, let me know something. Also, before I end the video, make sure y'all hit that like button for me, bro. Please. Let me know something. Comment down below. Let me know what you think about this entire ordeal. I'm out.